Tonight on CSL, we've got good news and bad news. The good news is that the Hornets are playing postseason basketball. The bad is that they definitely left one on the table tonight against Philadelphia. How can this be, you ask? We explain all tonight. This is Carolina Sports Live. She's Casey Funderburg. I'm Mike Lissette. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and tonight we'll show you how the Gamecocks moved on yet again in the women's NCAA tournament. We'll also break down a big wreck in Martinsville, plus Clemson football trying to find their next star quarterback. But first, thank you, Bucks. Their loss today clinched a spot for Charlotte in the play-in game.
Yeah, Hornets, though, did not have any time to think about it. They had a game to play. It's tonight's leadoff. Charlotte was thinking about moving into that 7 spot in the East. All they needed to do was beat the team in front of them. That'd be the 76ers. Third quarter, it looked like a foregone conclusion off a Philly turnover here. Charlotte running. LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller. Beautifully done. Miller led the way with 29 for the Hornets. They led by as many as 15. But then in the fourth quarter, this one took a turn. Charlotte got cold. The Sixers would take advantage. Off the miss, Tyrese Maxey challenges and slams. Maxey with 26. We're tied at 97. Hornets, though, would not give up. Later in the quarter, they're down 3. Melo to the rescue. He had 20, but he was just 5 of 18 from 3. We're tied again. Turning point, though, of the game came right here. Charlotte up 1. Joel Embiid can't tie it at the line. However, the Hornets can't get a rebound. It's off Grant Williams. Philly gets it back, and they would take advantage off the inbounds. That's Paul George, and that is a backbreaking 3. Sixers go from down 1 to up 2 after the hoop. Final seconds, Hornets down 3. They got one last shot. Melo, oh, good look, but the 3 was off. 118-114 the final. Charlotte's 5-game win streak is over. More importantly, they failed to gain ground in the standings. For more on how it played out, send it back to the Spectrum Center and Joey Ellis. Well, a lot more basketball to play, but one thing Kobe White said that I do want to touch on, it seemed to me that they did not react well when the shots were not falling. They just kept shooting them. And there were times in the game where I just sitting there like a 90s basketball guy that I am, just drive the ball. For goodness sake, stop going with the 3. It's not there. You got to create other shots, and they were not doing that tonight.
No, they had that one possession, I think it was in the fourth quarter, where I think they had, 5 threes that they missed, and not once did they try to, okay, let's set something up here and try to penetrate down the middle. They were just like, oh, can we pop it out to the next person on the 3, trying to extend that lead versus let's just get something going, control the clock, and hopefully get at least 2 points there. And they ended up, I think Grant Williams turned the ball over. And so it was very just frustrating to see as a basketball fan.
It was frustrating to watch Grant a little bit tonight. He had some key moments in the game. There was that rebound that he couldn't get, and there was another moment late in the game where him in a pick and roll with Melo where he just rolled the other way, and Melo had nowhere to go with it. Grant's got to do better. Well,
like Joey was saying, they got to put this one behind them and move forward because they've got the Boston Celtics coming in to town tomorrow, less than 24 hours away, and that will be an exciting one on prime time, so that's a big deal. All right, well, until they get there, this is just like any other game for them, I feel like.
Can I point out that Oklahoma was 26-8 going into the game, and they lost by 26 points? I mean, that shows you where South Carolina is and where everyone else is. And you say the same thing with UConn. I mean, but then again, you look at all the scores today, I think other than one, they were all over 20 points. The winning teams not only won, but absolutely dominated.
They're really starting to separate themselves right now.
And that's, to me, a little bit troubling because we're supposed to get to later in the tournament. The games are supposed to be getting better. And not to continue this trend of just absolute blowouts, which is what happened today with South Carolina.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if NIL is maybe playing a part in some of these big blowout games. But that's a whole other conversation. I don't think we have time to debate.
But the good teams just keep getting better. I mean, it's 6 straight times. They're not slowing down at all, and we're setting up for a big matchup with UConn coming up in the Final Four if it keeps going like this and both teams keep winning.
Yeah, which will be a great matchup, especially for women's basketball fans, for sure.
100%. All right, time to go racing, or at least attempt to do so in Martinsville. Not a lot of room to breathe on the track, and that affected the action. First 2 stages of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race, we saw 13 lead changes. By the 3rd stage, we started making sense of this thing. Justin Allgaier moving into first. He was looking to win his 3rd race of the season. 12 laps to go. This is off a restart, and it's a good thing Allgaier was in front. If he had not been, well, he would have been caught up in all of this. This looked like the traffic today on Independence. Not a lot of moving. A lot of people were not happy. After a very long delay, they'd get it cleaned up, but nobody was catching the number 7, not the number 1. There's the number 7. Allgaier led for 114 laps, including the final one. Celebrating in victory lane, he went one-on-one with our own Jermaine Farrell.
From the track to the field with the Clemson Tigers. First action of the spring got underway for the Tigers with their annual spring game.
Yeah, it wasn't the season Dabo Swinney and company were looking for last year, but that was then. Flash forward a couple months later, and now once again there's plenty of hope and optimism surrounding the Clemson program. Tigers are running back down the hill at Memorial Stadium as the 2026 squad took the field. It was their annual orange and white spring game this afternoon. The battle to be the team's starting quarterback is on, and head coach Dabo Swinney had a front row seat. Christopher Vazina wants to be the guy, and in the second quarter, he made his best case here, completing an 8-yard touchdown pass to Gordon Sellers. Vazina finishing with 95 passing yards. Another name to watch out for is freshman Tate Reynolds. Later in the quarter, he scores standing up on the run out from a yard out. Reynolds also threw for 74 yards. Finally, in the third, Trent Pierman gets in on the fun. 4-yard pass to Tyler Brown is good for another touchdown. The orange team would defeat the white team 23-3.
Guys we wanted to see play well played well.
All right, well, to the diamond now. Opening day for the Braves was exciting, but it certainly lacked in suspense with Atlanta beating Kansas City 6-0.
Fortunately today, the rematch gave us exactly what we needed. Some ninth inning fun that ended in dramatic fashion.
Payoff pitch. Dom Smith hits it deep to right field. Back on it, and what a way to close. Walk-off grand slam in his Braves debut.
Told you it was something special. Braves take it 6-2. Veteran Dom Smith making the most of the opportunity in his first game with the club. It was his lone hit, but as you see, was a big one. Atlanta is now 2-0 to start the season. I'm going to throw it back for my crown. It's going to Michael Jordan. On this day 31 years ago, he scored 55 in a win over the Knicks. Jordan had returned to the NBA 9 days earlier. He'd been retired for the past 17 months. Ironically, it was not a Jordan bucket that was the difference. It was a Jordan pass as he set up Bill Wennington for the game-winning dunk. The Bulls won afterwards. Wennington commented that he and Michael Jordan combined to score 57 points. Of course, Wennington only scored 2, but
Two very important points.
He's right. It was 57 points. So there you go.
It was, and it was something we needed to see out of the Hornets tonight, so hopefully we will tomorrow.
Big game, Hornets Celtics tomorrow. For Casey, I'm Mike. Have a good one.
Good night.